Hey everybody, just wanted to give you a weekly checkup. I'm doing the devotion this week. Will and Christina have had a baby Luke, and they are excited, and we're excited for them. I was thinking about what we found in Mark 8. It's a little devotion here. Jesus cures the blind man at Bethsaida, and I really resonate with this passage this week. It says they came to Bethsaida. Some people brought a blind man, and to him, and they begged him to touch him. He took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the village. And when he had put saliva on his eyes and laid his hands on him, he asked him, "Can you see anything?" And the man looked and said, "I can see people, but they look like trees walking." And Jesus laid his hands on his eyes again and looked intently, and his eyesight was restored, and he saw everything clearly. The reason that resonates with me, for some of you who don't know, I've had eye surgery and went back to the doctor this morning and got most of my stitches out. But he had to put one more stitch back in, so I'm not free from all the stitches as of today, maybe in a week or so. He said something though. He says, "You're going to have a hard time, maybe have a hard time driving home. We're going to put some kind of a special ointment on there, and it's going to be hard for you to see clearly." And I thought, yeah, I understand that, because sometimes you just have to laugh about yourself. I had put some of that ointment on earlier in the week for another treatment, and I have in my desk two bottles. One is a breath spray, and another is an eye spray. I had just put that ointment on just earlier yesterday, and I happened to pick up the wrong spray, and I sprayed the eye cleaner into my mouth. I would not recommend that. It does not help your breath. It does not help your breath feel cleaner. But when Jesus talked about seeing clearer, I think, sometimes that's what happens to us. We just get our vision all messed up. We don't see things clearly. This pandemic sort of socked us in the eye, hadn't it? It sort of just taken off and really just hit us pretty hard, and sometimes our vision gets a little bit cloudy. We forget, we get anxious, we get worried, we get stressed. Have you found yourself over the last few weeks you're just stressed and you don't know what you're stressed about? It's that heavy burden over you that lays down upon you, and so I think from the passage we learned something. And I want you to remember this. First of all, be careful what you pick up and spray in your mouth. That's always a good thing. See clearly. The way you see clearly, though, is to hang around Jesus. That's what the blind man did. He says, "I see, but it looks like trees." He didn't go away from Jesus then and says, "Well, I've had enough of this." He just hung around Jesus and stuck around Jesus and helped him to see clearly. And over the next few weeks, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what we're looking at, to just lay out maybe a clearer path for you. We're going to be doing a small reopening in the future when the Bishop Taylor gives us the okay. We're not sure when that is. But I've been working with our executive team and with our trustees to develop a plan that we can offer to you. It will be a phased-in approach. And so I'm not going to give you all the details. I'll send that out into a letter to you later, closer to the time we know that we're going to be reopening. But I wanted to give you an idea of some things to be looking forward to. When we do come to our time of reopening, it will be in a phased-in approach. We'll have a phase 2 that is not as restrictive as this one is. But we will allow small groups to come and gather, and there will be a limited number in those small groups. You will be screened as you come into the church, and just like you have when you go to any other place now, we'll ask you some questions, we'll check your temperature, and we'll do it graciously with a smile on our face, and we want you to feel welcome. But if you come in a small group, you will be asked to wear a face mask. Anyone that comes into church, our staff, Rachel is behind me taping this right now, and she has a mask on, and Also, Cindy is over to the other side of the office and she's wearing a mask. So we're trying to be safe and we want you to stay safe. If you're not sure why you should wear a mask, look at Mark 12 again, 30-31. Love your Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. We will ask also that as we come to worship, we'll have a limited number at worship. We will at that time do some of the same kind of screenings, and we'll ask you to during worship to have your face mask on. Now there'll be some other things that we'll talk to you about when you come for a time of worship. We'll have to work through some of those details with you, but I don't want to share those right now. They're just it's not the time or the place to do that. We still have to get some things shored up. But one of the things that I think about is we're going to continue to worship online. If you're over a certain age or you have underlying conditions, we just recommend that you stay home in phase 2. We'll be in phase 3 before that, and it'll be even less restrictive. But phase 2 is limiting numbers, limiting the impact that we might have. We're even bringing a special cleaning crew in on Sundays to sanitize after each worship experience. So we're trying to do all we can. I would say one other thing. If you can help us with this, we're going to have our entrance and exits designated. That will help us to maintain a safer environment. So if you would please, when those entrances and exits are identified, use those designated areas. Then our custodial crew will know what to clean and where to clean, and we're not running all over the building. Most of our building in phase 2 will be shut down, and it will just help us in the long run. Hey, I've taken a lot of your time. I didn't mean to, but I think there's a lot of things we still discuss. Over the next couple of 3 weeks, I'll continue to roll out a little bit more of what this reopening plan will look like. I don't know when that is, but whenever the Bishop Taylor gives us the go-ahead, then we'll try to let you know and plan accordingly. Be safe, have clear vision, stick close to Jesus. It'll be a great week. See you later. Bye-bye.